Welcome everyone to my Sunday Simul stream here on lichess and Twitch. I'm International Master William Paschall, otherwise known as Slaggy or Slaggy on Twitch, and Sparklehorse on lichess, where we are conducting this 40-40 Simul. We get everything set up and we're going to get players entered. We're going to be playing 25 people at 40-40. It takes 2.5 hours plus to play this event, so if you are going to have a long game, keep in mind, don't play unless you have over 2 hours to commit to the event. Alright, let's get it up and running here. So, don't be shocked by my lack of beard. Beard is gone. We can't live with that forever. 3 weeks is kind of the longest I can go. So try not to, go into too great a shock, guys. We are going to start here momentarily. I've got the entry up. 40-40 extra time for me because it's pretty brutal. And here we go. Create Simul. So I know the random people on lichess probably don't know about this, but that gives all of you who watch my stream regularly an advantage. And you guys can... I'm going to reserve the right to not accept some people who are like really high rated. If you're 2400 plus, I'm probably not going to accept you in the Simul. It's hard enough playing I'm going to play 25 players, so I also asked everybody have some kind of established ratings. This guy just makes it with like 50 plus games. Franco, I know. Dwayne Cadera, Pilot 100, I know. Salt Ego, I know. Steve Heyman, I've played before. Snowball I can't accept because you are a new account. Pawn Spanker, we know him. Jeroen, we know him. Keeper Pine, just got to have enough games. That's cool. So Snowball, I'm sorry, I can't accept anonymous accounts or new accounts that don't have established ratings. One Day says, let us play Crazy House. No, yeah, I'm scared of Crazy House. You're right about that. Who is Wizard? Andrea Peroni. I could play horseshoes too, but things I never played. Crazy House, yeah, I probably played a couple games here or there. Alright, but I don't really feel myself competent playing Crazy House, so playing 2 games of Crazy House 10 years ago wouldn't really qualify me as qualified to do a Simul in Crazy House. Yeah, we're going to keep it to chess today. If I ever did do a variant Simul, it would be Fischer Random, Chess 960 or whatever you like to call it. Maten 47, who's been on the stream a lot lately. Aussie Passes as well. Bishop 2005 Power, I don't think I ever played this player. He does have kind of dubious amount of gains, but he does have a classical rating of 1500, so we'll let him go. Yono Soy Mike, clearly not Mike. Alright, we've got 14 players, guys. We're going to wait for another 10 or so. I mean, if I'm not going to wait forever, another 5 minutes would be the maximum until I start. I didn't advertise the Simul heavily because I just, do it for 25 players. It's not I'm doing 60 players, but it is the first one I've done in over a month, so it's going to be a little weird. It's not like riding a bicycle. This is not something I do every day. Alright, Wazir is okay. He's got enough games. Wazir and Wazir. Wazir, I have played before, I believe. Let me check. Yeah. Okay, so Wazir, we've got 16. Guys, I will be accepting 25 players. It's 40-40. Please don't enter if... Maten 47 has the worst cold humanly ever seen. That's better than being at the board with you. Incognitower, Hyper Beam has just enough games for me to consider it a rated account. Sorry for Snowball, but that's the way it goes. He just has a brand new account. So Geese, all the Dutch guys here in full force. Constant Change, good that you registered because you're in the channel and in the Twitch channel or chat if you like, and I know that I'm doing it in the day when there's this what is it, marathon or whatever. But very few people have the time for the marathon, so you got to be really hardcore for that. One of these days I'll play in a marathon, but you really got to have a lot of free time and desire. Maybe if there was like cash prizes, I don't know. I never played in a chess marathon actually. What did I do? I accepted Oreo. Oreo or Orlan. Yeah, we've got 21 guys. As soon as we get enough players, I'm going to start. Laris I think I played before. So I'm just not accepting players who don't have established ratings. Music down, thank you for hosting. This is the first one I've done in like over a month, guys, so be a little bit easy on me if I lose some games. I'm going to try not to get into like really bad time pressure. Hal Azizu has a really high rating. I kind of drew the cutoff at 2,400 though, so we'll let him in. He's going to be my toughest opponent, I guess, on paper. Marigold, we got 23, so place for just 2 more players. Marigold has barely enough games. And I don't mean to discriminate against anybody, but I just asked that everybody has established ratings. So brand new accounts I won't play. They're like accounts that it could be created just to troll me or something. So, alright. Zebra Live and Lithuania. Zebra Live also doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough games, really. Roman Lobanov. Roman, I'm going to accept Roman. That's 25. Guys, we're going to get started. And let's go. So 25 boards. I'm going to try to play as fast as I can. I do have some extra time. In the past, I have gotten into trouble by, and let me know if the stream's running okay. I have gotten into trouble by taking my time too much in the beginning of the stream. I have a tendency to do that. So we're going to play different stuff with white and with black, as much as we can mix up the openings. Rockin' Eagle, Soul to Ego, Gladys Troll, Main 47. Thank you guys for joining me here. It's going to be fun. Constant Change. Cognitower, Incognitower. Maybe he's Incognitower and not Incognitower. I never really thought about it. We are Andrea Peroni. Bishop 2005 Power. I've never played this guy from Turkey. He's got a relatively new account too, but not completely. Jeroen, you don't have white, which means that you can't play the birds opening against me, which is always a relief. I played a couple of games in the marathon, like some 112. That's more than a couple. That qualifies as more than a couple. Constant Change. One of the higher rated players, 2159, Dway Cadera. I have never played before. Against e4, we'll keep him, under surveillance with our main defense. I'm playing some experimental stuff like the Alekhines defense, and I think I played, what else? A modern. I played a Scandinavian too. So here's my games with white. They seem like mostly with black. I got all in a row there. Maybe they're separated into colors. Geese is 2135. Mostly e4. We don't have too much d4. This player, I recall one blitz game with. Can you guys hear me okay? Good luck. Anti-positional, thank you. We've got a d4 game. I don't really play d4, d5. I should throw a few games out there with d4, d5. Against Pilot 100. I'm not really a d4, d5 player, but I'll throw it out there. Actually, he's a pretty strong player. I've featured some of his games in a review video or two, and maybe I chose the wrong guy to play d4, d5 against. Okay, Hyper Beam. I'm going to have like a little bit of time to talk about the games in this early stage, but later on it's going to be really fast paced, so I'm not going to be able to chat too much about the moves and whatnot. I'm trying to avoid getting into time pressure because in the past, when I've done these simuls, I've been kind of like real relaxed in the first 10 minutes, and it gets me into like an early problem on the clock. So the last couple times that I did the stream, I found that I did better just basically by not, like going at a really, really lax pace in the beginning. So I'm just going to try to play quickly like throughout, basically. Steve Heyman, I recall getting in trouble against him in like a Nimzo or something. We hear you fine. Bunch of Sicilians, a little bit of everything, and Larisbug. Larisbug plays g6 against my knight f3, forcing me to a decision. Okay, against constant change, I'm going to go with the Petrov. It's a solid defense against a fairly strong player, so pawn spanker with bishop b2. We have had this on the stream lately. Guys, I also, for those of you who don't tune it in the mornings, my morning time, I do have a weekday like Blitz and Classical stream, so another g6. Wow, that's a couple of these guys. My weekday Classical stream in Blitz every Monday through Friday between 10 and 12:30 Central European time. Pilot 100 with bishop f4, the accelerated London. It makes it sound so great. Nigel Davies marketing the London system. What do I do against bishop f4 actually? I mean, c5 is still an option here. Well, I don't usually play d5. I'm looking at this and thinking, wow, wait a minute. I don't normally play d5. Then I'm like going out on a limb and you're playing the London system. I thought we had some interesting Queen's Gambit or something. So I never play d4, d5, and Pilot 100 forces the London system anyway. What a letdown. Wazir power. We have the option to play the Icelandic Gambit, but that's something that I never really had that much faith in. Soul to ego, knight f3, d5. One guy I've been working with is playing c4. I lately have preferred g3. The Caro Khan defense. I don't want any Bogo Indians. I've had bad luck against that lately. So let's play knight c3. Constant Change says, your stream is awesome. You two are looking awesome. Well, I did shave the beard. For everyone who tuned in the last week or so, it was getting really lumberjack style. So had to shave the beard. Constant Change with d4. Yeah, this is a good move. And black, I'm not real up on the theory there. My opponent offered a draw. Come on, Bishop 2005 power. Don't do that. He's trying to provoke me. I'm not going to get provoked. Offer as many draws as you want. Will not phase me. I'm playing actually the Pirtz defense in one game. Mate in 47. So there's a good chance that I will do like a review video of the games from the Simul. If there's some good games, I didn't create any other videos this week, so I think it would be a good idea to do a Simul review video. Now Franco 2000. Let's keep it in the realm of the English opening. Once I played b6, it's not really a good move against knight f3. We've got no kings Indian type stuff. Okay, bishop f5. I just recently started playing bishop f5 in the Caro Khan. After like my whole life, always playing like knight f6 or knight d7, and it's not my main opening, but I just had enough of playing those like second-rate moves for black in the Caro Khan. Okay, so Pilot 100. Let's play c5 and go into the normal London system there. Now knight takes e5 from Constant Change. Why am I surprised by this move? I have no idea. I shouldn't be surprised by that move. It's like the main line. Mate in 47 now. Alright. The classical Nimzo is a pretty strong line for white, and black has to be well prepared. Queen c2 against the Nimzo Indian. Looks like I'm playing the Pirtz defense against Wazir. Although it's not really a regular part of my opening repertoire. Steve Heyman, I decided to try to confuse him with a two knights tango, but so far no effect. Didn't do anything crazy. Andrea Peroni played e5 against my Caro Khan. That's like a good move against the Pirtz defense in bullet chess. You know, like d4, d6, or e4, d6, d4, knight f6, e5. But in this case, it's not really a good move because I can just undermine that pawn, destroy it. So no soy Mike, bishop f4, another London system. London system very popular, I guess, in no small part because of Magnus Carlsen's picking up the London system from time to time. So, constant change you played in the marathon. Anybody else here play a serious number of games in this marathon? I mistakenly tried to register like 10 hours before it started and play a game, but that didn't really go down too well. Alright. The d4 line against the Petrov seems like a very good choice for white. And against Mate 47, there are a lot of different ways to play this kind of line. Let's play bishop takes c5. There are many moves there. Asid passes. Well, I'm also going to play d5 against him. It's a queen takes d4 Sicilian. Is it called the Moscow variation? Okay, now pilot 100 played c3. I mean, you can play c takes d in this line. I'm not really sure it's the best move. I've played a lot of queen b6. The London system is solid, you know. I mean, it's very hard to mess with, but as far as like being a dangerous opening, I think it's just a kind of like fad right now. I know that Kamsky plays it, I think, just to avoid theory, and bishop f5 is a move we talked about a little bit on the stream in that symmetrical English. Another fad variation. Okay, so I think I've got two sides of the I'm playing both sides of the classical Pierce, and maybe both sides of this English. Jeroen's playing the symmetrical English with black. I'm playing some kind of side variation against Mate 47's classical Nimzo. Steve Heyman actually did what I did against Frank Ferenc. He's played like 4 knights Nimzo, allowing me to play bishop b4 here. A game I annotated for the website I work for, chesslecture.com. I don't think that's come out on that website yet. I did a video in the game against Steve Heyman. I did a video where I played white in that line. My opponent played really strangely. Okay, Geese, did we have this? We had this, like, no? This Leiko Nakamura variation. Keeper Pine exchanged knights on d5, which is pretty rare. And constant change castle. I don't think you're supposed to do that constant change, but I'm relieved that you did, because if you play like knight takes d7, it's kind of slightly better for white. Okay, guys, I'm chattering as much as I can here in the early stages, and I can try to answer a few questions. But as it gets like later into the thing, the Simul, I mean, I'm not going to have time to really talk too much about anything anybody puts forth in the chat there. But I do want to remind everyone that we do have a stream during the week as well. What do I do now? D takes C is a threat or not? Not really a threat. So we can play knight to C6 here against pilot 100. This actually transposes, well, yeah, it probably transposes to some positions I've had. Similar positions, it transposes to something similar. I've had Trumpowski's with like the bishop's on g5 instead of on f4. That's not really a transposition. I should have worded it differently. Okay, interesting setup by Andrea Pironi, giving me a lot of options. This is going to be a weird game. I can feel it already. I'm tempted to play g5, but we're just going to try to try to keep our cool. What to do? Dwayne Cadera, this is one of our higher rated opponents, like 22, 21, 59. And also someone I've never played before, so I like to be a little bit careful against those people I don't know much about. Your own is a scary opponent. His rating doesn't represent his power at all. Well, he is pretty tough. I have had trouble beating him. He's fairly solid, and I think, he doesn't, other than the fact that he plays like, like one F4, he doesn't take a lot of risks, and he is tough to beat. Roman Lobanov, it's unusual move order I don't face very often. Semi-Tarash. And this is kind of a coffee house type of setup where white exchanges on c6, and it's not really correct for white to exchange there on c6. So Wazir Power I've played before, and now we've got this classical, classical Pierce. Just going to play like b6, bishop b7. Okay, mate in 47 played b3. I don't recall ever facing that, but it's non-invasive and not really like, not a threatening type of move. I'm going to get into a kind of hedgehog there. Working both sides of the... And another... Incognito is also playing the white side of... We're going to have to play something different against him with the same position against two different players. Now Steve Heyman. Yeah, we did have a game against this guy. We lost once. It was a Nimzo. Slightly different line. I remember I played h6 and g5. And then here, he's starting to take on c5, I guess. All right. We got a lot of positions that are kind of similar. English is. Against Franco 2000, I can also play d4. Transpose the game into a King's Indian. Let's do that for the sake of variety. Roman Lobanov. Yeah. Knight takes d5 it's a tough move. It's a tough move to deal with. e3 is not as sharp as e4, but keeps the pieces on the board. So I am going to go with that option. And now knight f3. So here I have to be careful about developing my bishop. I've learned this lesson before. If I do something like bishop f5, white takes on c5, and I'm in trouble. Right? So e6, I suppose, is the safest bet there. And Oreo played a pretty unusual move there. In the Moscow variation, he didn't play... He did not play bishop to b5. Dwayne Cadera with... yeah, it's a sharp rouser with bishop d7. Sold to ego. And again, this is from the recent Rapid World Championship. But did Leko play that, or did he play 95? I don't remember now. He played 95, didn't he? Classical Pierce. Keeper Pine. I thought I was getting an e5 here. And is that favorable for me or not? e5, pawn takes pawn, queen takes queen, check. But how the heck am I going to win that kind of position? Bishop g4, bishop e2, e5. I don't think that's really good. We have to play bishop. It's going to be hard to get an active game against Keeper Pine if I don't play e5 right away. e5 takes queen, and like bishop g4. But I'm afraid it's going to be hard for me to win that position in any case. So Andrea Perrone. And now what do? He really likes the big center. H5. Seems a bit early for H5. I don't really want to fianchetto just yet. I don't know what else to do though. Alright, constant change with bishop there. Good question what I should do now. Take the bishop. Developing a piece for him. C6 looks like an option. This is an interesting Wazir power, interesting game. Bishop B5 right away. Not sure what to do here. E6 or G6, G6. G6 is probably okay. Something more active than E6. And Incognitower played B3. And here I go using a lot of time again. Bishop takes C3, not really a big deal, I would think. I could play that though. Still, his bishop is going to get in the game. Yeah, B3 is a really solid move for white. Very hard for me to do anything against that. What's this? Bishop G5. Bishop G5. Let's play a little faster, guys. Queen B6. All right, B6. That's probably a move, not the most common move, but it has to be reasonable for black. I'm gonna try to pick up the pace a little bit, guys. I am dragging a little bit here in terms of time. Euron, Bishop E6. I have a lot of similar type games. But Steve Heyman just did a crazy move. He did E4 here. Which means he would have to give up his dark squared bishop if I break the pin. Modern defense, or we can play C5. Not sure what's up with that. C5. We just transpose. Let's just transpose to the Pierts. Right. So I'm going to try to play a little bit faster. Queen B3. I guess I can just castle here. So this is weird. Knight BD7 after Bishop G4. It doesn't put as much pressure on the center as you typically get. That's a bit strange. Normally knight to C6. Well, Franco exchanged on D4, which I don't think is really the best for black. Okay, G3. Well, that's perfectly reasonable to do a double fianchetto here. Like a hippo type of thing. Dwayne Cadera playing a. This is like the book recommendation from years ago. I don't think it's the greatest line for white, but it's not bad. Perfectly fine for white. Long ago, I had a game with Jennifer Shahadi, of all people, the world famous commentator and friend of mine. She's managing to make a draw against me in this variation. And I'm trying to remember now. I'm supposed to play Queen A5 right away. Lately, I've made some mistakes where I like exchanged on D4 or something. I think prematurely there. I think I'm supposed to play Queen A5 right away. I'm not playing this line every day, so I forget. E6 from Asi passes. That's kind of early. I mean, normally you see Knight F6. So I have check. Yeah, but there's problems here. Like, bishop e5 check, bishop d7, pawn takes pawn, bishop takes c3, pawn takes pawn, and black wins a piece with bishop takes b5. This strange position. Not sure what I'm supposed to do about this. I do not know this move, e6 here. Well, I don't want to get into too bad of time pressure, guys, so I'm just going to move it along. So Steve Hyman had to give away the dark square bishop. I mean, that's not really traditional in this type of position. Now, maybe I should exchange on c3. I'm not sure it matters all that much, to be perfectly honest. Probably can't hurt. The question is, when should I exchange on d4? Now his knight can go to c3. Well, we should eventually get to a normal Pirtz defense against Haza, Zizou, and Incognito is playing the ultra solid double fianchetto type of English setup. Gonna be hard to crack that. And Salty Ego weakening the long diagonal in this Catalan type position. Not usually a healthy thing to do for black. Asking to be manhandled, so to speak. Well, we got to get our kingside developed against Wazir. And constant change, interestingly, retreating his bishop back, so very, very interesting developments. Man, if I play bishop f6, I really would like to play f6 at some point. It looks kind of risky to do it now, but maybe not. Maybe it's okay. Only live once. Let's go for it. And Franco 2000, you know, typically giving up the pawn, the center pawn, isn't good for black. But I don't know whether I should just play for e4 or play h3 and e4, or play b3, do like a double fianchetto type of setup. I'm not sure that's right here. The double fianchetto type of idea, is that right here? Play a more traditional plan with h3. Oreo or Orion just like retreated his knight back to f3 in a kind of normal position. I think the dragon is a good concept against that, probably. Marigold. Wazir trying to play e5. I'm not really sure. The danger here is knight d7, e6 type of stuff. I'm not playing the Pirits every day, so I'd be more likely to play this position with white, but I don't want to waste too much time. Alright, time is money. Yes, this move occurred to me. Queen f3. But I don't feel it should make a big difference. I was afraid the mate 47 was going to do this. But man, let's go for it. Let's, you know, let's party. Bishop d2, a quiet move. Yeah, Incognito Tower. Should I try to go like h5, h4 here? Something interesting? Or just castle, like a mouse? Not really my style to play h5, h4. Although I don't think it's necessarily bad. We'll try to keep things kind of simple since we're playing all these boards at the same time. I don't know about this one. Once again, pawn takes pawn, bishop takes c3 check is a nasty surprise. So maybe we castle here. Something like that. And c5 from Larisbook. Larisbook has 3 draws against me. All in simuls, but that's pretty solid, man. I think we have to play d5 here. c5, a3. Don't have to play a3. I guess we're in kind of standard Caro-Kann territory here against Geese. Not playing the Caro-Kann every day. I'm not up on most lines. This bishop on f4 is a tough piece. Really sure what I'm supposed to do. I do recall having like a similar game not that long ago. Let's just play Petrosian style. Petrosian. And I better be careful around. This is a pretty risky thing I'm doing. And then bishop g5. That's kind of an annoying move. I wanted to get c5 in. Now he has this annoying pressure on e7. Well, we can play f6. We can play a lot of things, actually. I don't know, man. This should be okay for black, obviously, but... Now b3. I mean, e4 transposes to like a normal King's Indian position. I'm not sure that's even good for me, you know? I mean, why block my own bishop? Problem with b3 is that my knight doesn't have many retreat squares in that event. b3, c5, kind of, what do I do? Knight c2, and then like knight e4. Bishop f5. Alright, I can't afford to waste too much time. castles and get our pawn back. Alright guys, I like it when you make it easy for me. My original intention in this position was to play Queen f7, but that's not really going to be possible. Looks like we're going to have to sacrifice something, apparently. Is there any way to avoid having to sacrifice something here? It doesn't... Well, moving my king. So this was a little over the top. I went a little too far against constant change, it appears. I practically forced him to make this move, bishop d4. But I'm insufficiently developed. This is going to require sacrificing material on my part. Queen g5, anybody? Just walking into f4. It doesn't make any sense. It's queen f7, I guess. Could play queen f5. I mean, this is really dangerous. I guess I just lose the exchange. What am I gonna do? I guess I lose the exchange in that one. Incognito tower with a good move. And then here I thought about f6 and bishop e6. Before he has time to do anything else. Iran is using my own borrowed system against me. Maybe bishop takes f6 here. But that seriously looks okay, right? I mean, pawn takes is not really good. So we have some sketchy positions, it appears, this not being one of them. Get our pawn back. We could play another move like bishop c5, maybe. Bishop c5 looks sort of stupid, to be perfectly honest. We just have to take our equal position and try to do something with it there. And now this one, another equal position. To be wary about this pawn on b6. He is hanging a pawn on a2, but I'm afraid like my piece will get trapped if I try to take that. So I think that's just a dream. Maybe knight c6 after all is okay. Knight bd7, bishop, knight g5. This is also an issue here. All right, we're getting into the Pierts finally. We spent a lot of time on this mainline position. Been a long time since I played this ancient variation. Dway Kadera going into a line. I don't think I've ever actually played this. It was featured in some kind of Dreyev Morozevich game, I believe. But our man took it down. Morozevich Dreyev, to be exact. And we got a weird position going on here. I think we're winning material. So what's the deal with this? Queen c5. Franco did play c5, but I haven't even played b3. Alright guys, this could take a while, so Stay tuned, and I will try to pick the best games from the Simul and do a review video this coming week. Franco with c5 right away. I mean, I really doubt that's right here. Knight e2 or knight c2, both possible. Yeah, we're losing material here. I see that. I didn't really see a good way of preventing it from happening. I think the whole concept was too risky for me. Against Pawn Spanker, you know, I could do a lot of things. I can play f6, queen d7. It's not that bad for him if I go into this kind of position with the... Maybe it's better for me to just cast doubt on the whole hippopotamus than try to exploit his position directly. Man, this is really... Well, at the very least, I have to have a way to break up black's structure here, right? Now, bishop f5. He can't win a pawn because bishop takes h7, f5. So instead he played this. Knight c6 certainly looks logical. Well, I can play d5 actually. Is that good, though? We shall find out. Now, this pawn is hanging, but I can't take it again because of the same old... No, I can take it. Aha. Yeah, well, we should take it if we can take it. That's my new advice. Take it if you can take it. Queen takes d6. Yeah, the ultra solid. I don't know what I'm doing in this kind of position. I'm trying to stop d4. Alright, let's speed it up a bit. Actually, knight takes d5. Those sort of endings are usually better for white. Computers love that. Like Panov with symmetrical pawn structure, the computer will be like, white has a massive advantage. And now, choosing the right square for Mr. Knight. He played h3. He saw that I was kind of trying to set him up for knight h5 there, and he was diligent stopping that. So, of course, not an easy position to play for a win here. I stopped knight g5. I also threatened knight h5. So my dual ideas there. But we do have an issue here. What's going to happen when he does e4? What is going to happen when he does that e4 type of stuff? We can try for knight here. What does it do? I mean, then f5 to try to control the center. It's a little bit sketchy looking. Doesn't look like the safest approach for black. My bishop has a problem though. Like, what is this piece going to do? Seriously. So white has to trade off the valuable dark squared bishop here. I was forking the bishops, no way to protect both. And what an inner position. He doesn't even just take my exchange. He wants more. He's like, I want more. So he goes rook e1. But I suppose I have two moves here. I mean, bishop e6. Wouldn't it be more logical to... It would look more logical to develop a piece with bishop e6, but then he has some... Bishop takes c5, bishop takes c5. Bishop g4 doesn't work, though. But he has, like, bishop e6, b4. It could get really scary. So maybe I should play knight e6 here. It's pretty insipid. Looks pretty insipid. Bishop b4 isn't really helping me. And Jeroen goes for it with h5, the caveman. And then knight g5. Knight g5. I think knight g5 is okay. I mean, I always have the e4 square, right? Let's do it. Queen c7. Now, this has got to be good for white now. Somehow. Try to trade off the dangerous bishop on the long diagonal. And we've got to play a little bit faster. We are lagging a little bit in terms of development. Queen d2, interesting move. Mr. Marigold, Mr. or Mrs. Okay. Well, against mate 47, I think we're okay. This is purely fantasy. Queen takes or pawn takes. We're down in exchange with really no compensation, but we are going to play it out. There are some practical chances. The whole plan of playing f6 was too much. All right. Bishop e6. All right, guys. This looks equal-ish against main 47. Much better here. Actually, bishop b5. We should have a lot of good moves in this position. Bishop g5. I think we're lost. Two plans, f4 or play on the queen side. Infinite flash chess. What am I saying? Infinite flash chess. Against constant change, you're looking bad. I know. We've only got 41 viewers. During the weekday streams, we usually have a lot more. It's kind of strange, but I mean, I guess everybody's watching this marathon and stuff. f5 was the plan here. King e2. I better be a bit careful in this position. Maybe I should even think about exchanging bishop for knight. It looks a little bit early to be doing that, though. I can just win a pawn. Bishop takes f2 check. Probably should do it. Take it if you can take it. That's our new theory. Another exciting London system. We have to be careful just to be alive. Man, I should really try to get rid of Mr. Knight in this position. Gary the G-pawn. Mr. Knight, Mrs. Bishop. Hyper Beam playing a super weird move order in this system. I guess one should just play a3 and call his bluff here at some point. And Wazir Power, alright. Well, we both have a kind of weird pawn structure there. So knight to d5, if I remember correctly, you know, that's probably not the main move in this position. Not to say that it's a bad move. Queen takes g2, bishop f3. So I have to either castle queenside or play rook to c8. I mean, I imagine they're both good. I'm going to keep my options open with the castling, on the castling front. Always look for better, I guess. Bishop takes g2. Anybody? This is a move. Takes f8, takes f1. Then he takes on e7, then I take on e7, then he takes on g2. What's the goings on in that position? It's still probably like equal. No matter how you do it. I think this is better. You know, we both have static weaknesses, but I think his are worse than mine. Okay, Franco with this. How did he get this far here? A4 is a really huge weakening in my position. If I choose to play that, I don't know what I'm supposed to do around here. Rook b1, b5 anyway. Maybe that's the answer to our problem, though. I don't think there is an answer, but there are a lot of questions. Jeroen, can you checkmate me without the dragon bishop? Alright, we're going to find out. Guys, I do a normal stream here. Wow. I do a weekday stream, Blitz and Classical Chess, on lichess Monday through Friday. So if you enjoyed this and you haven't checked it out before, do so. Castling queenside never entered my mind. That's pretty insane. But who knows? Maybe it's not a bad idea. Man, it looks borderline crazy. Yet I don't see a refutation. I don't see a refutation. Man, what am I supposed to do? Let's just play logical moves. Not waste too much time. H3, not a non-theoretical move. In this unusual old-school Peerts, in honor of Jan Timman's birthday or whatever. H3. We're taking the Peerts back to the 80s with 6 knight c6. H3, that's some kind of sideline that's probably been played before. E5. What am I supposed to do here? Knight to b4 or something? Is actually reasonable. Wow, rook h8. Repositioning. Pilot 100. Well, I gotta get out of town. Perhaps I should just move my knight back voluntarily to c6. Because, I mean, that thing is just gonna get hit anyway. This is kind of a technical position where black should be pretty good, but at the same time, white should be okay. Knight e3. we're definitely, I think, on our own here, theoretically. This is hanging and this is hanging. We do have a double attack. We go for material greed. Andrea took forever on that move. I guess we try to trade off some pieces. I don't want to play A4, Mr. Franco. Just like weaken my whole position. Maybe I'll have to. I mean, what else am I going to do if I don't do A4? You know what I mean? That wasn't my original plan, but I changed my mind. Oh, man. I hear my H-pawn is hanging sometimes, so I can trap his bishop a lot. Bishop D6, B4. I have time for B4. Just A3. Moves a little slow, but I think we can afford it. What's up, guys? Infinite Flash Chess. Is there a fun way to play versus the London? Good question. Man, I don't know. But if you find out about one, let me know. Because I'm not having fun. I am not having fun against the London. Hard to checkmate the Dragon Bishop. The unopposed Dragon Bishop. I was saying that Jeroen was like solid, but look, he's gone like totally postal with H5, H4. I'm really sure what I'm supposed to do around here. E3 kind of like. It seems sort of double-edged. Bishop G5 is an interesting move. Asking for trouble, I guess. Bishop G5, Knight D4. What am I supposed to do around here? Just Rook B1? Await developments, sir. We're instructing you to await developments. So, Queen E3. Come on, no white squared bishop. I guess we can do the same old plan. Alright, we've got such good compensation there. It's unbelievable. For the exchange. Franco. So now I'm tempted to play Rook F7 here. I know that objectively this is probably equal draw, despite his like isolated double pawns. It's going to be really tough for me. And soul to ego. The ugliest position in the world. E5, I thought I could take on E5 here. But I was suddenly having second thoughts. Why? Feels like if I do that, I mean, maybe B6 was a big mistake. It was like too fancy. Taking just opens up the F file, the bishop. So I think that's a no-no. Larisbug took knight takes b5. Now that's totally jettisoning his structure. In fact, I could take this pawn on a6. He's counting on that somehow. And that's just a pawn. Some kind of primordial trick that I don't fully comprehend. This is just hopeless exercise. Yo no soy Mike. Ah, the good old London system. Maybe I have to do g5 anyway. It looks so weakening though. I could do g5, take, e4. It's not really good. Knight back to f6. Bishop f6, I guess. Alright guys, we got to move it along here a little bit. Just move it along, nothing to see here. King h1. The good old g4. I'd love to play e4. How do we achieve this again? Bishop b1. h6. Too much time wasted. h6 looks like a weakening move for black. g4 is a weakening move too. Alright, I'm just taking too much time on this position. And unfortunately, can check first. Does that help? e4, anybody? It's a crazy idea. e4, pawn takes pawn, knight c3, pawn takes pawn, rook takes pawn. Sacking a pawn back. Yeah, this is going to be tough to get anything. Knight e5. What the heck is going on? And now what? e5. I was a little worried about rook e1 there, honestly. Andrea Peroni unpinning their queen from the situation. I don't think that game's going to make it into the game of the week category. Rook d1. So what's up with this? Queen takes e5, pawn takes e5, rook takes d3, pawn takes f6. That's bizarre. Queen takes e5, pawn takes e5, rook takes d3, pawn takes d3, or we can just simply do bishop d6. Well, that's hardly winning, or is it? He's got some bishop a5 nonsense here. b6, rook a5, rook a5. The good old rook a5. Queen takes, rook takes, pawn takes f6, rook takes d2. Well, it can't be worse for black, and I am getting kind of low on time here, so knight h6. troubling move. A troubling move from my esteemed opponent. I'm not going to waste any more time there. Yes, I was aware of trading queens not being a good thing for me. We are getting a little bit low on time. A speeding up of the process would be called for. F4. No time this time. Whoa, 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 whoa. A5. Well, I guess A5. What else should I do? Bishop takes G3. Draw. I've got to find a new variation against the London system. Playing like Capablanca won't cut it. Trying to play like Capablanca. What am I doing here? Bishop G3 he played. That's an amazing move. Bishop G3. Wow. Totally craziness. Where do you come up with that? I don't think I should exchange here. I don't really like the direction this is taken. Bishop F6, I guess, was just a complete fail. Man. Queen A4 check. Actually, what about E4? He has queen, he has bishop C6 in that case, right? Andrea likes sacrificing material. And now, knight G4. Or knight D5. It's hard to call. Or even knight D7 for that. We have like 3 good squares. I think this just might win material. I'm not really threatening knight takes F2, am I? Well, maybe I am, depending on the situation. All right. Time is of the essence. The ironic bishop E6. Ironic because you wouldn't normally want to trade the bishop pair. And this guy with the London system has me groveling in this situation. I'm groveling. Fully groveling now. Okay, E6. Let's trade. And this should be good for us in general. But what to do? Not so easy to break it down, it appears. I see. All right. Maybe we should go for it here. Well, this game is taking forever. Oreo taking his time, which I fully appreciate. Man, that's pretty solid. I don't know how it gets any more solid than that. No, this is almost like the Andrea game. That's so strange. It's like visually the same. Sacrifice. No e4 for me. Not today, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, we need to be, you know, careful about the time situation. This is super bizarre. Underestimated that. How convenient for you. You have time for that. Maybe I should just take the pawn. I don't know. We are getting a little low on the clock. Knight takes f2. Yeah, I regret playing knight g4. I had a bad feeling about this the last moment, but I was like, oh, well, we'll do it anyway. My knight is like committed to this journey. It's like a catastrophic blunder for me. If knight f2, rook f1. Guess I'm just gonna have to start sacrificing things. It's a terrible blunder. Knight to g4 had a plethora of good moves. All right. Well, we got to get out of the long diagonal here, obviously. Queen e4. Kind of a surprising move, isn't it? Maybe not. b5 anyway. So knight g4, rook takes f7 looks bad for black. I have this check. And I don't know if this was a planned sacrifice by Larisbug. I mean, it's a little hard to believe. He intentionally sacrificed a pawn there. E4 now, not working yet. Bishop b1 might be okay. Let's play that. And this guy, Tsitsipas, has had to think forever. His position was shot. So bg5 at the very least. And then a lot of thought there from Pawn Spanker, who got down really low on the clock, but he likes to get down low on the clock. Pawn Spanker is a big fan of self-induced time pressure to try to throw off his opponents. F4 here. Or just knight to d5 is possible. It's kind of weird. I guess we go with f4. What is going on now? Rook takes e6 is the one move cheapo. We have got no play, so it looks like it's hopeless. Hopeless. It's hopeless for black. I mean, our king is just screwed. We have less time. No other forces to send out into the world here. So with this bishop on d7, with a bishop on g3, just killing me. We're going to lose at least one game today. The London system, particularly problematic. Alright guys, so we get into the stage here now where we are in time pressure. This is getting really bizarre. Bishop g4. So the f4. A handy dandy tactical resource for white. A little tricky to see that. I wouldn't consider it as a move, but you know, you've got a very open mind, you can find the move f4. You'd have to have a very open mind for that. I just don't think that the average player is going to come up with that concept. He's 2,000 in correspondence, 1,600 in classical, 1,500 in blitz. Knight takes e3, rook e1, pawn takes f4, bishop takes f4, knight d5, rook takes e6, knight takes f4. Rook takes e7, check. King to f6 with unclear, probably getting mated or something. Knight takes d3, a rook e1, knight takes d3, rook e6, check. King at g5. Anyway. I guess we just play knight c6 and hope for the best. Try not to get into time pressure. Right, Andrea is trading off one of my better, trying to trade off one of my better pieces with knight g3. Sure, I really want to do that. Did I just hang mate in one? I think I did. I may have just hung mate in one. If I did, then GG and congrats. Wow. I might have just hung mate in one. That'd be really perverse. One of the worst blunders I've ever made in one of my simuls here. But I started to kind of panic due to the time pressure. I haven't done a simul in a while, so I'm not used to playing on these boards anymore. I do apologize if I blundered a mate in one. It happens, not too often though, fortunately. Not a lot of time to work with here. He's on my rook, threatening another one-move tactic. And some other nasty things. It's not mate in one. I mean, it just basically hung my whole position, but it's not mate in one. Let's look on the bright side. Rook takes or pawn takes. We are getting into pretty bad time pressure here. Well, what do you recommend, folks? Quite interesting play by Steve Heyman. He's also very fast, 29 minutes. I guess we'll play on the dark squares, huh? Finally get to play e4. Or not. This ending. He didn't take my knight. I thought he would take my knight there. Surprised by Geese not taking my knight. You would think that would be a good piece to take off. Bishop g4. Guys, we are getting into a bit of time pressure here, so prepare yourselves for some blunders. Wow, look at this. Dwayne Cadera, look at the piece play he's got. Sacrifices on d5, maybe? I'm sure he's got incredible piece sacrifices ready for me. Steve is outplaying me positionally. Maybe queen g4 here. Strange as that might seem. Queen g4, rook f6. That's a funny move. He has too many good moves against that. I mean, queen g4. Let's try it though. Okay, so we hung hung our position basically with a really strong game. But on the plus side, I don't think that White played the best. Probably here with queen takes e6. Probably had better. Okay, this game is starting to irritate me a little bit. He strung all these tactics together. Alright. Guess we just take this. Bishop c4. Rook f3. There's all sorts of good stuff on the king side going on. We could simply play, well, bishop d3 even. Rook b4. What about this as like a pawn sacrifice? f5, take, bishop takes, c4 takes. I don't really have enough for the pawn, I suppose. We have to do something. Rook g8. We do win a pawn. But not really, right? Even this game I don't think is necessarily winnable for black. Which looks very promising, but any hope of salvation here? Probably not. Euron, yeah, e6, and I thought b5. It gets a little weird after that. This position should be okay for black. Knight e5. Wazir power. I think he could have won a pawn back there. Yep. Steve threatening anything? Yeah, f5 would lead to a perpetual on my queen. g5 is kind of interesting. Kind of dangerous for me. Alright, I'm a little bored with this. Well, black has more counterplay than I really anticipated here. Bishop d6. Can't say I saw that. White's constant change. I mean, he's like 1800 in bullet, 1900 in blitz, 2100 classical. He's played some very tough games against me in my stream. But here I just didn't have a chance. Very strong tactically. This is a very good endgame for black, at the least. Queen b4. That's kind of subtle. Hopefully I can hold on here. Who would play queen b4? It's a surprisingly good move. And is there any winning chances in this rook ending? I don't know. f5, anybody? We go for f5 at all costs. This game. So pawn takes d4, knight takes g5. This game is really sort of scary. Maybe bishop f5. Barely hanging on. Speaking of barely hanging on, oh man, b4 on the queen side. I mean a5. Okay. Whew. Alright, I think we're winning this one. There's not too many games where I'm confident in my position here tonight. Rook e1, man, that's a good move. 1400 in blitz. And you play a solid game, Orion. Preparing knight d5. We go for exchanges here. This looks equal. Knight h4. Pawn spanker getting himself into time pressure. Again, inducing me. We're going to go for it. Offered me a draw, but you're a pawn down. I mean, maybe it is a draw, but I mean, shouldn't I be like having some chance to win here? It's kind of weird. I guess it's just a draw. You're right. I mean, objectively. Asi passes with a very bizarre tactic, making my head spin. I don't really see the point. He's just being fancy. Look at this. Piece play from Orion. That's pretty subtle, but you are losing the c2 pawn, I think. This guy is outplaying me. Maybe queen a4 saves me here. Not really sure. We are getting in time pressure on multiple boards. Rook takes here. That is a win. Now Andrea's queen is out of position. What about an ending? I'm down a pawn here. But I don't mind an ending. I don't think he really likes endings. You know, I think he likes middle games with sacrifices and stuff like that. I don't think that Andrea is gonna h5. I don't think Andrea likes playing endings. Wow, this is ridiculous. I mean, this should be really good for white. This is just a draw. No matter how you slice it, that game is a draw. Knight g5 now is a problem. Right. Is there any sense in checking on f3? Probably just helps me like get mated. Alright. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're doing our best not to lose on time here. I lost one game already to constant change. Looks like I'm going to lose another one. to a tactic here against Roman Lubanov. What is that? I just lost... No. I thought I just lost material, but not. Alright. A pleasant surprise not to lose material. I'm missing a lot of obvious one-move tactics around here, because we are in kind of desperate time pressure. Alright, let's coordinate. Rook F1. This guy has come up with some crazy tactics. Another tactic. It's all just... It's strange that he played the London system, then he just plays for tactics. Something about that is really sort of bizarre. But now there is no tactic, actually. Is there? I don't think there is a tactic here. The good old 2 against 1 ending. That looks like a draw. I just sacrificed a pawn against Franco. Probably not the greatest pawn sacrifice. That's a winning ending. I just remind myself of Michael Rode, who once did a Simul at a chess club I played at, where he started adjudicating his own games because he wanted to go home. He was like, that one's a draw, that one's a win, that one's a draw. Everybody was pretty pissed off. Alright. We've got a lot of weaknesses in this structure. I think we have to keep him off of my e6 pawn. So, against Roman, I guess we're still up material there. Interesting king, Jeroen. But he's kept the position closed. Wazir Power, this is a draw, but I guess I'm obliged to play it out. Can I triple attack the pawn? Do I want to? Another good question. Wait, let me understand this. You just played Queen E2? Wow. Why did you do that? Okay, I don't understand. Yes, sir. Good move. Well, everything wins. In that position, sorry to keep you guys in the dark here. We have lost one game and quite a few drawish looking games. Chess Network recommended my stream yesterday. He said he has watched a few of them himself. I do appreciate that. Very kind of Chess Network to support another streamer like that. So please, if you get a chance, you know, thank him in my name. Well, h5, the g6, yes. h5 is not an unusual idea in these setups. Hyper beam, well, I mean, this is a pretty subtle line. I mean, for this h5 idea here, ooh, let's play this. He's got knight takes e5 set up. I know what I can do, I guess. Queen c1. Yeah, this is a disaster for Mr. Asid passes. So Steve, I don't understand like how he's getting enough for that exchange sacrifice. Exactly. Speaking of getting enough. King d8. Oh my god. Maybe g6 would be a better idea. This is really scary. Man, I can't afford to do that. So knight takes d4, we're just winning? For all this tactical stuff? Queen a3 now. It's been a really strange game against Oreo or Orion. He's played some surprising moves, keeping complications constantly. Alright. Now knight a4. No, but Andrea just forgot I was attacking a piece, returning the favor. And so Diego, you should know better than to trade pieces when you're down material. Incognito. I was gonna put my queen on the long diagonal here. The second thought, I'm not so sure. I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt. But then again, he could play knight e4. And then what? Like queen g7? Actually, it's a good move. Alright, let's do it. Anyway, it wasn't a bad move. Maybe d5 here. That knight's pretty good, isn't it? Or is it? I don't know. Alright, this is a draw. Maybe I should just offer a draw to Wazir Power, save myself the energy, rather than torture myself any longer. This is not a draw. Get my king in the center. So Roman Lubanov decides to go into the ending. Ooh, there's a nasty trick there. Uh-oh. I have to play b5. That wasn't really part of the plan. Well, no, I can take on c1. Well, that's fortunate. Taking on c1 saves the day. Otherwise, I would have been in trouble against mate in 47. This game is starting... Okay, nice queen, by the way. You're trapping my rook now? Seriously? My rook is trapped? Where do you come up with this move? Yeah, Pawn Spanker is just going berserk. Knight takes f5. Knight takes f5. Bishop takes f5. This is not good. Franco has beaten me once before, and it's probably going to happen again. I really miscalculated this. This is just nothing for white. Every one of his pieces is like perfectly placed. It's kind of disturbing. Look at this sacrifice. Not to say that I didn't see this as a possibility. Pawn takes d5, knight d6 check, king d8, knight takes c8, king takes c8. Wow. What else to do? This looks like it should be winning. Where to go? To the center. Speaking of winning, this is a draw. It's not like a forced draw, but it should be a draw, I think. I'm just going to offer a draw here. This is silliness to play this out. I'm playing all these boards. d6 check. Apparently he's like trying to trap my rook or something. I don't see how he's going to trap it now. A king g7. Breathing a sigh of relief. We have this. Time is getting short. G6 or G5. G5 looks horrid. G5 is a funny move. I mean, G5, rook H7 resigns, I guess. G6. At least we can play on for a while. I made a horrible blunder against him. Roman is hanging on. Yeah, that's not trapped. I'm afraid of all tactics. In Simuls, at least, when I don't have time to calculate anything, I rely almost purely on technique. So this is pretty strange, this whole position. You're in lots of material on the board. We got a winning king position there. Oreo, Orion. Unfortunately, he's not giving up. Is he going to trap my rook again? This is a really bizarre game. Didn't really understand what's going on here the whole time. Yeah. Queen b2 or something like absurd. You trap my rook in the middle of the board, or what's exactly happening there? Oh, knight f4, of course. Okay, now objectively we have two bishops for a rook. So we have some chances here. We should be winning material with knight f5 check and knight takes. At least. I get a queen, he gets a queen, I get a knight, he gets a rook, I get another rook. And then king f2 with a subtle threat. Where does this guy come up with this stuff? Well, how does Zizou? I never realized this was the highest rated guy. It would have been good to like know about that a little earlier in the game. I never bothered to look at his rating, so it never occurred to me this was like the one opponent who was significantly highly rated. Only now I realize. Probably would have been wise to check that out earlier. Yes. So there's a check on f4. My deep plan was rook f1 here. And this is knight a6. You're like the master of closed positions, right? What am I doing? Yes, queen e2. Check on f4. Double attack. We have that? He let me do that? There's still some sort of answer, I guess, with rook g3. This ending actually looks okay for black. Oh, I can't drop that, though. God, I would drop f7 like a moron. That's unbelievable. Okay. This one. Yes. Pawn spanker, I know. I'm not expecting you to lose on time. c5. Bishop a5. The fianchettoed queen. How about my king? That would be a useful addition to any position. We'll take away that outpost. Or not. He's got knight here. Whatever I do in this position, white's going to have some kind of moves. I mean, obviously. Well, this game was really ugly. Okay, more tactics. Tactics in the London. No time for tactics here. Can't say I saw that possibility. I'm up a piece temporarily. Knight e5, rook takes, pawn takes. This is a bizarre situation. Maybe it's best to play rook g3. I don't really know where Pawn Spanker gets his moves from. It's actually very difficult to predict any moves he's gonna make. He seems to have incredible, like, conceptual vision. The less time he has, the better he plays, basically. This ending. Jeroen, you've really made something out of your bishop now. God, he's tough, isn't he? Bishop h3. Okay, it's a little bit excessive. Knight Knight C5. Can't say I foresaw that either. Been reluctant to commit to anything here. A pawn up in a knight ending should be an easy win, but I'm just kind of holding off, really committing myself. Another pawn, or do I go after this one? All right. Well, I'm not going to let the time get totally out of control here. Right. How about in between moves? Bishop G6. Rook takes C2 check. He resigned. We got a resignation from someone. That's got to be a first for today. And then take. This is really bizarre. I think Orion had me in trouble there. And now we almost have something, but almost doesn't count. Okay, what's next? Rook takes. Two bishops. So what's up now? I have 95. A wonderful bishop on my wonderful bishop on on C1 in the Nimzo, or B2. H5, anybody? Knight check and knight F7. Okay, this is just getting kind of annoying on the clock. Knight G5's not going to happen. Pawn Spanker desperately trying to get some play. It's so funny watching him when he's getting like low on time. I've never seen anyone come up with so many resources in like apparently hopeless looking positions. Like it doesn't seem to matter like how absurd it looks. He just keeps finding stuff non-stop. Right. I just, it's good not to forget that you made a capture when you're playing one of these Simul games, because sometimes occasionally you'll forget you were actually making a capture. Let's Let's try this somewhat questionable plan. Yeah. This is a tough one. Rook G6. He's got no entry points. Do I want to push that pawn or not? Winning this should be interesting. Okay, this is a winning position. I don't care what you say. Right. Am I doing the right thing? Yes, correct. Good move. And all that other stuff. Maybe we're hanging on here somehow. I didn't like this game at all. I have a bad feeling about this still. We should sacrifice a pawn or something. Alright, that's clearly winning. Andreas totally full of it here. He's lost. This is over. But Jeroen is hanging tough. He's not even down a pawn. I don't know, I had this weird feeling I was like up a pawn or something for some reason, Jeroen. I don't know why I had that feeling. I've certainly never been up a pawn in this game. Okay, now we are up a piece in this one. Got the bishop from hell. He's got a good bishop too. Definitely. Pawn takes pawn and c4 comes to mind. Yeah. But it's dangerous. I should just protect, hang a rook or something. How do I defend this? Okay, first of all, I guess move my rook somewhere useful. Technique first. Yes, I saw that. I see all your tricks. Look at this knight now. Man, that is not what I was reckoning for. Why did I take with the pawn on there? At least I should have played the other rook to c8. Looks like white's just better there. Alright guys, in the time pressure here, I'm sorry I can't really talk. I'd like to talk more, but we are a little short of time. Where does he come up with this stuff? Keeps coming up with stuff. So king h6, I guess, it's a great square. This knight e5 is also playable. And this should be a winning position. We just don't want to hang our whole game. Kind of one move blunder. Coordinated there. Uh-oh. I meant to take on b7, Jeroen, and then I decided not to do it at the last minute. I'm not really sure why. So let's repeat the position. I'm not up any material here. How is that even possible? It's a little hard to believe. Oh, you traded rooks. Well, that's good. That's not what I had in mind. Oh, man. Okay, Lubinov. King there. King there. This has to be a win. Alright. Time starts to rear its ugly head here. Pawn Spanker, I mean, what is his bullet rating? He's only 1991. I've never seen anyone play this good with an increment at this rating level. G5. But the pawn's not hanging because he has some sort of tricks. Always. Interesting position with the two rooks, a rook against two bishops. I mean, are you trapping my queen or something? Whoa. That's an unpleasant surprise. Yes, it is. You traded. I thought you had some trick with rook c7, Jeroen. He's still pinned. Slowly, Soy is going to run out of pawns. I think. What is this? Insanity. Salty Ego just traded pieces in the ending. Why would he do a thing like that? Okay, what is my plan here? Still can't. I can't seem to win. Check. E3 or A3. I think A3 looks like a good first step. Sigh. How do I finish this off, man? Man, why did I put my king back on G8? I guess we've got to go for it. Rook takes f2, king takes f2, check. What am I doing here? Oh. Alright, well, maybe we can make a draw in that game somehow. D5. We finally have a trick. Tactical trick in our favor. How am I not trapping Andrea's queen here? Oh my goodness. Oh, I see. Maybe I should sack the exchange or something. No, it's not necessary. All right. This is a very unpleasant situation. This ending. Against Pawnsmaker, the pawn should be good. Is this for real? Black has chances to save that game? That hopeless looking position? Alright. Oh, this way, yes. I have A5. This is not a good situation. Knight h4. I don't think that Salty Ego took back the right way there. This is not a pleasant position, but I have the feeling I should be able to hang on somehow. Maybe not. Did he just trick me? I have this check. a7, right? Queen b6. Yeah, this is a really fun situation. But which way to go? Probably best to think for a moment. Bishop takes. Pawn takes. It's a pretty strong pawn. Okay, pass pawns. King c7 is a check. Yes. I don't know if this matters, this extra check here. Probably does. Does help matters. Can I trap his queen or something? Andre, I don't know how you create these situations, to be perfectly honest. Uh-oh. I overlooked that entirely. That's not good. Wow. We've lost at least one, right? And I expect there will be more. Queen b3. Come on now. This is a funny endgame. I like this a lot. This is really great. Now knight b7. This is the most absurd game ever. Wow. Queen f5, right? Is that illegal or something? No. Okay, some of these are going to resolve themselves. Cognitar got low on time and he played b5. This one's kind of funky. And then this one, rook takes. It's a bit more dynamic than pawn takes. Here we go. Right. What are we doing in this game? I don't know. really should be a draw, I would assume, but I don't really want to take his rook there. Okay, 2 connected passed pawns. A5. Speaking of A5, we're just hanging on here. And so now I thought maybe I can try to get out of the pin. This is a really strange idea that I had. Oh, goodness. It's a good thing that move doesn't win by force. I have rook a7. I don't know which is worse. Oh man, what a disappointment. Alright. Rook h5. These games are pretty interesting, guys. Sorry I can't keep commentary constantly. These bishops are pretty dangerous. Maybe I sack a pawn there. Try to free my h pawn. Well, that is unfortunate. C5 wasn't really the best move. It's probably okay. This is mate. There's no mate. Okay, no mate. Court no mate. It's crazy to let his rook on a 7th there. This is really irritating. Can't get away. What just happened? I don't understand what just happened. I just sacked an exchange? Why was I not up a piece? I thought I was up a piece. I just hung a piece and then sacked the exchange against this guy? That's absurd. Wow. Okay, that's really absurd. Yeah, that's pretty absurd. Well, that's really, really disappointing. Brother. Like the stupidest happening ever. I guess this is some sort of draw. This looks really hard to make progress. Bishop, King G6. How do I get away from this being attacked by your rooks perpetually? Okay, this was just totally absurd. This one. Maybe I can still hold a draw here, but it's kind of an uphill struggle. I don't understand what just happened. Right. This is a draw, fortunately, against geese. Right. Yeah, this is what I figured. Care too much about the g3 pawn, but I can't afford to lose that other pawn. Oh, he has a resource for this too. Rook a1. I mean, shouldn't white be worse in this position? I would think so. I have this. Queen check, take, d4, d3, king up. I don't know if that's enough to win. Rook f2. Alright, so there's still some kind of stuff going on here. He played pawn takes. I was terrified he had rook takes c5 and a5 there. Rook e1. Bishop gets in the game. This looks like a draw to me. I mean, I don't think I can win. I didn't realize this was even. Yeah, this is a draw too. I'll probably offer draws in both those games. Are we down to just 5? Okay, 5 games left. This one has a lot of play left in it. He took with a pawn. I thought knight takes was actually the safer option. That move's a little risky for white. This looks like a clear draw. Thank you for the game. I mean, this is gonna be kind of tedious, obviously. Rook down, king g7. Maybe I should play king h2. Doesn't seem like a good idea, does it? Rook down. Let him active. Not really sure there. I think White's in some trouble here. I mean, it could be. It's far from over, but... He's got a surprise check for me. These games should be finished up in the next 20 minutes or so. I don't know what happened with Orion. He's just losing on time. Okay, A5. Well, A4. Knight D4. Looks like only move. And now what? Bishop E4 check. It's not really where I want to go here. Bishop G2. It's not easy to make progress no matter what here, but there really ought to be a way to make progress. He's trying to get his king out now. I don't know what to say. H4. Wow, pawn takes. And now what? Should we blockade? These bishops are getting pretty strong. It's a very accurate move. And he's getting away. I really don't think I should have lost this game. All ridiculous situation here. Wow. Does anybody know what's going on around here? He's getting out and about. Guess I could have played rook a8 there. Maybe that would have been better. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for joining me anyway. We're down to our last, well, 3 games really, because we just... Orion doesn't resign, though. It's not very cool to let your time run out in a lost position. That's not very cool, dude. Maybe he just got... He's not disconnected, though, so I don't understand. He's just angry. He let his time run out, but... Alright. So here... Maybe we can trade enough pawns to draw somehow. Last few games should take no more than 20 minutes. So a4. I think we're winning. Check. And then this move. This game's getting really bizarre. I regret that I didn't play this differently. Rook c8 is interesting. Rook c6, letting his a pawn go. Like, what is his next move there? Okay. Why did he go king here? Not a good choice. I think the king g4 was better. Orion's not resigning. Got really lucky there. Another tactic. Rook a3. This guy, he finds more and more of the most awkward looking moves. So I'm going to have to like sack the exchange here. Very awkward. Instead of that, though, I could have played c5, let his pawn run, but that looks really dangerous. Objectively, I'm not sure what's going on here. We have the last 2 games. Orion is 3 games. This is going to flag. Soltiago, you're welcome, and thank you guys for playing. Sorry about that, Franco. Usually I'm not delivering too many bad beats on my opponents here in the Simul. I'm usually making catastrophic blunders myself. But occasionally the blunder goes the other way, as it did there. 2 games left. This looks good. Knight f4 now. I'm surprised by that. But it's got to be some kind of tactical trick. Or not. Bishop takes d4. So it looks okay. Not sure what's going on here, honestly. 2 good bishops, but his pieces are very active. Kind of a strange situation. Materially, it's depends on how much you value bishops, I guess. Now, white doesn't have any good checks at the moment. So perhaps I should play bishop f5. I guess Orion lost on time. We have our last 2 games, the bishop pairs. The mighty bishop pair. He's got no check on h7, no check on h8, and no check with the knight. So things are quite interesting. My instinct tells me that I should be okay. But d5 is actually possible. With d5... Pawn is going. This is a strange situation. Bishops. The mighty bishop pair. Why don't these games end already? Well, first of all, okay, you need to step off the 3rd rank. Step away from the 3rd rank, please. Okay, now, is there any threat in this situation? Objectively, I shouldn't really be winning here. But I can go for his h-pawn. He doesn't seem to have any means of... Well, he could play knight check there. It's kind of awkward. Knight g7 check. So if I check him, maybe that will expedite the end. Yeah. Simul complete. What happened? Do we have a resignation on the other board? Oh, Dwayne Cadera resigned? Okay, thank you guys. I wasn't sure it was totally finished yet, but it's probably winning. I mean, the C-pawn's really strong. So, all right, guys. Let's see the final result here. 18 wins, 6 draws, 1 loss. Wow, that's one of my best results. Solid. So, Laris Bug says cheat detected. Where does it say that? Anyway, guys, it's not 4 hours. It was a little under 3 hours. Pretty standard time for this Simul. So I'd like to appreciate everybody for taking part here, and let you know that tomorrow morning I'm going to be playing my weekday stream, Blitz and Classical Chess on lichess, 10 a.m. CET. Thank you to Jeroen for playing and moderating at the same time, and thanks to all you guys for watching. I'm going to be doing this every Sunday, so be sure to tune in. I hadn't done a Simul in basically a month. Also, check out my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. And if you're interested in training or lessons, you can send me an email, videochesstrainer@gmail.com. So it was fun. Good score, finally. I was in trouble in a number of games, but kind of lucky there, especially against Franco at the end. I should have been losing, but he blundered, allowing a mate in 1. So we lost 1 to constant change, a bunch of draws, and 18 wins. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.